Coming up on Mountain News this morning, hear how the COVID-19 pandemic helped one group of Kentucky youth see their home in a new light. And a Harlan County veteran was honored for his service yesterday. We talk with him and his family about his life and his service.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is July 30th, or like we call it around here, Friday Eve. Now, all morning we've been talking about those visibility issues and the cold front and the rain that we have coming in and going on all today. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. Today's a good day for that weather app, like we talked about earlier as well, because it's going to be some changes happening in the middle of the day.
Exactly, and I think that we'll stay dry for the morning. It looks like everything we're seeing right now, the current conditions basing that, but you're right. Foggy this morning, soggy this afternoon, and potentially for the next couple of days. Let's take a look, and you see those visibility issues, at least on the sensors now, clustered down near the Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee borders. Now, I'm sure there's other issues out there in other parts of the region, but most of these sensors are at the airports, which are in those higher elevations. Of course, that fog sinks. If one of those lower elevations is hazard outside the WYMT studios, and you can see that fog is thick and dense there at the station. So just kind of keep that in mind as you travel. 68 Wise, 73 Moorhead, Jackson, and in Prestonsburg. That's the range this morning. Most folks there between 70 and 72. Your out the door forecast. You may not need the rain gear early, but take it with you, because I think by this afternoon those showers and storms will start to fire up, and they could be pretty widespread across the region. And as Lacey mentioned, get that WYMT weather app to track them. The rest of the forecast coming up here in a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And one cable and internet provider in the mountains has been a hot topic in Pikeville as officials take action, saying the company is not performing its duties. WYMT's Buddy Forbes talked with city manager Philip Elswick about the city's franchise issues with Suddenlink.
The people of Pikeville are concerned about their connectivity.
Absolutely. We have very clearly heard.
Suddenlink, one of the major television and internet providers in the area, has customers longing for more.
While there has not necessarily been an acknowledgement on their part that there is a problem, they are very much aware of the community's frustration with them and their network.
The city conducted a survey earlier this year, hearing from 300 customers in city limits, and brought their concerns to the company.
And we laid out a number of problems, and nothing was done to correct them. Not even a discussion about what needed to be done to correct them.
So they met Monday to decide how to best move forward, declaring that the company has failed to comply with its agreement with the city.
The next logical action is to take some sort of legal action laid out in the franchise to enforce the franchise agreement.
The city commission adopted a resolution Monday, warning the company that liquidated damages will accrue daily until the issues are fixed.
It's really difficult to know what's going to happen, but the city commission is dedicated to getting the problem fixed, and so that the citizens of Pikeville can have the quality of service that they expect, that they're paying for.
Bringing service back to the people. In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Elswick says that these issues are mostly with the company's cable service. So far, we are unable to reach Suddenlink for comment. For 50 years, young filmmakers who started the Owl Shop had one vision: to create stories from the mountains, for the mountains, by the mountains. One way they do that is through the Appalachian Media Institute, which holds a summer program aimed at producing a documentary of the area through the eyes of 17 to 21-year-olds. While COVID-19 forced AMI and the young filmmakers to adapt and work remotely, the pandemic gave them new perspective of the place they call home and how COVID-19 has impacted it.
Helping us understand the whole of what's going on, especially in times like this where there's so much information happening, and it can be hard to connect that with the realities of what are happening in rural communities like ours.
Topics of the documentary vary, but they also share a core theme as young adults are forced to make big decisions about their futures and circumstances they could have never planned for. The documentary will premiere on the WMMT radio station tonight at 6 p.m. And law enforcement agencies in Knox County are coming together for an inspiring cause. Kentucky State Police and other agencies participating in the Cover the Cruiser fundraiser this week. This after the annual Special Olympics law enforcement torch run was canceled due to COVID-19. By donating $1, people get their name on a sticker that will go over a KSP cruiser. Trooper Shane Jacobs says that despite these difficult times, it feels good to come together for the betterment of these athletes.
This is a big fundraiser for Special Olympics, and we know that 11,300 athletes every year participate in Special Olympics. And we want to make sure those athletes are able to continue to do that. So, the torch run was canceled. So this is to replace that torch run as a fundraiser.
Jacobs also says that Barberville won't be the only stop they make, so don't be surprised if you see them pop up in your neighborhood. And one canine officer in Floyd County is getting an extra layer of protection to wear while on duty. Canine Officer Drago received a donation of a bullet and stab-proof vest through Vested Interest in Canines, Inc., an organization that provides canine body armor to law enforcement agencies across the country. Drago and canine deputy Justin Shimshak have been partners for 4 years, watching each other's backs.
I know if something happens and I have to open up that door for him to come to work, it could possibly save me. So it makes me feel good that I can repay the favor and help save him with the bulletproof vest.
The Floyd County Sheriff's Canine Officer Letta will also receive a bullet and stab protective vest through Vested Interest in Canines, Inc. in the coming months. And check this out. What you see on your screen right now is the latest of several recent bear sightings here in eastern Kentucky. Yesterday, David and Sharon Kennedy sent us this video of a bear approaching and climbing onto their porch in Cumberland. To report a bear sighting in your area, call the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife at 502-564-3400 or 1-800-25-ALERT. You can find more information about bears and how to safely handle a situation like this one on our website at WYMT.com. And giving back was on full display yesterday as one local business owner took it upon herself to support her community. Joyce Chang, the owner of Panda Garden Chinese restaurant in Harlan County, decided to spend her off day providing free meals to law enforcement. She started out with $700, but with the community's help, she raised $1,700, allowing her to provide more than 250 meals. Matt Cope, Chief Deputy Sheriff, says he is blessed to live where he does.
And anytime we hear somebody, just wanting to give back to show that the law enforcement's appreciated with everything going on right now, it helps to lift up the spirits of the law enforcement officers. We're very appreciative of her for that.
In the end, she has enough meals to send out to pharmacy and healthcare workers as well. And a Harlan County veteran was honored for his service yesterday. Bluegrass Care Navigators is a partner with the organization We Honor Veterans. They hold pinning ceremonies for veterans in hospice care to recognize them while they are still alive. Wise Howard is in a home hospice care, and his family gathered with him yesterday, telling stories of his service. WYMT's Emily Bennett brings us the story.
In the hills of Harlan County, Wills Howard found out it is never too late to be honored.
It's amazing. Yeah, I thank him. I really thank him for it.
Howard served in World War II.
We lift up Wills Howard, who has been a warrior for our country.
Joining the Army in 1945. 16
years old.
And now Lisa Perry, his social worker, is serving him.
You could just see it in his eyes, the impact that time had on him, and just being able to share those stories. Because once he's gone, those stories are gone.
After meeting him once, Perry knew Howard needed to be recognized. Howard, a paratrooper, spending months in Europe and then Japan after the atomic bomb was dropped.
Like a 9-man patrol, try to get them out of those islands, get them out of those caves. But the only way you get them out is with a Flame 4 or big guns to blow them out. That's the only way you get them out.
More than 70 years later, Howard's memory is strong.
Okinawa yo, Matakula Madewa.
His stories, the ones written on the pages of history books.
It was good for me. It's good for everybody if they had it, if they would do it.
Showing it is never too late to be honored, especially so close to the end.
People often think of death as sad, and opportunities like this provide a great deal of joy and happiness for families, and that's what we want.
In Harlan County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Howard received an honorable discharge in December of 1954. When asked what he learned in his time in the Army, he simply said, discipline.
Helpers and Heroes, sponsored by Wolf, Williams & Reynolds, serving Eastern Kentucky for Social Security Disability and Federal Black Lung.
We've been doing this segment for about 3 months now, and I'm honoring those folks across the region that's going above and beyond and doing big things here during this pandemic. So the last couple of days of this month, of course, don't forget, we're going all the way through the end of next month, but for the last couple of days of this month, I'm going to honor some of my personal helpers and heroes that wouldn't submit themselves normally. Let's go to our first picture this morning, and you might recognize this lady. This is someone very special to me. As a matter of fact, she's the most special to me. This is my wife, Stephanie. She's a radiologic technologist at Whitesburg ARH. She doesn't consider herself a hero, but I do. As the number of cases continue to climb across our region, she continues to have contact with those who may have the virus, doing her job to the best of her ability while worrying about bringing it home to me, a brain cancer survivor, and her mom, who is older. I can't even begin to say how proud I am of her and her coworkers for going above and beyond during this public health crisis. And she's sitting right in front of me. So, Steph, I love you. All right, the next two pictures are very good friends of ours, both who work at hospitals. This next one is Keela Ratliff. She is a nurse at Hazard ARH who works directly with positive patients or those who might potentially have the coronavirus. I know that Keela has put in a lot of overtime caring for those in her care to the best of her ability. Keela is one of the best people I know and comes from an amazing family. Thank you, my friend, for your dedication to all of us. And finally today, this is one of my best friends, Heather McKnight. She's a physical therapist at Harlan ARH. While she may not be in potential direct contact with COVID patients like Steph and Keela, anyone working in healthcare right now knows that anyone they interact with could have it and give it to her. She is one of the most caring people I know, and that doesn't go just for me, her family, or other friends. That's to her patients, her coworkers, and everyone she meets. Thank you, Heather, for being an amazing person and for being my friend. And of course, you can still get your friends and helpers and heroes into us a couple of different ways. Go to the website, WYMT.com, click on the Helpers and Heroes link or search it there. You can also send me submissions on my Facebook page and a message. Brandon Robinson, WYMT. Time is 6:43. Good morning. You're watching Mountain News this morning right here on WYMT.